Last time on the Minus 20 podcast, our heroes defeat outer space creatures called Akata. After the battle, Yoel Jacobson reveals to the party his secret lair full of trophies from his time as a pit fighter. He gives the party his lair and some special items. The mysterious green gunslinger reveals himself to be Bo Poncho, but Pen stays mum on her alter ego. Party turns into rest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Minus 20. I'm Jay. I'm your game master for this Real Play Pathfinder 2nd Edition podcast, running a homebrew campaign called Vigilante, and I'm here with the most excellent people that I am honored to play with. So let's just go around and say hey.
I'm Diane. I play Kira.
Hi, I'm Nate. I play Shepard.
James playing Bo Poncho.
I'm John. I play Marth.
And I'm Holly. I play Serafina.
You guys are amazing. I am having so much fun doing this, largely because you guys are excellent role players. The first 4 sessions were so much fun to record. But I'm curious, now we've landed in an interesting spot. You've got your own secret lair. You've rescued Yoel Jacobson from the Axes. I'm curious about what you guys think of the Axes in the community and how this incident the night before is going to go over with people in your neighborhood. Any thoughts on that?
Shepard's not a huge fan of the one reliable source of food in town that he had access to being burned to the ground. And
Sure, but what do you think the people in Shepard's immediate vicinity are going to think about this? Obviously, maybe they're mad about the food, but do you think the Axes serve any purpose among his people?
Yeah, I mean, I think just generally being extorted by the Axes has always been a problem of his caste of this social hierarchy, but attacking their food source, pretty major pillar of the community, I think, is not going to go over well, especially something as overt as this. It's not just extortion. They didn't just raise the fees. They're destroying someone's livelihood, and they're basically getting ran out of town. Still going to be fallout to come. Proverbial starting the fire, striking the tinderbox.
Well, and it's interesting too, like we know firsthand, it's the message afterwards, like the community is going to know whatever message gets put out first. So if the message was, oh man, some vigilantes are killing people out there versus the message of, hey, the Axes are burning down things for a gold, like it's we're going to have to somehow make sure the narrative goes in the favor. Otherwise, yeah, we're just criminals that murdered police.
Now, I mean, to help with that, they did have the Axes were literally in the street shouting like, oh no, look at this horrible accident that happened because you didn't pay us. But I also think that, we got to think of it, it's not a time period piece, but it's also kind of is, where it's a different world when there was nobility and there was maybe town guard, and that was all you had for like social network safety nets. So the Axes actually did serve a purpose in those kind of times where they are somewhat protective and taking care of community, but they're also jerks. It's not the same as like right now, gangs. There's not a lot of positive that comes from protection racket now. It's like, okay, great. I kind of have like government agencies that take care of it. And then they didn't. So who knows how they're going to feel.
I'm particularly interested in, said there, John, with them kind of grandstanding in front of the burning building. There has to have been bystanders. We couldn't have been the only people that not only heard it but saw it. A fire in a town is usually a pretty big deal. But not only did they do all this grandstanding and showboating, a bunch of anonymous people from town showed up and killed all these Axes, right? They are in turn, the town is sending a message back to the Axes. It'll be interesting to see how they then react themselves. Because if there's ever a threat to enforcers who are exploiting these people for money, killing mafiosos, so to speak, is undoubtedly going to have some more retribution on the community.
All right. I'm kind of interested to see internal Axes stuff, because I guarantee there's a boss out there that's going to be like, whoa. We can pull this off because there aren't pitchforks and torches coming after us. You guys just did that. Like, someone's going to be in a lot of trouble. Except that guy's dead, I guess. So
yeah, if the Axes do nothing, that sends its own message that it is okay to fight back. So I imagine that there will be violence. Who's next, I suppose.
I get the impression that up until now, you don't overly think whether it's good or bad. It's just the way of the town, right? These axes are there, you pay them. There's no point in even grumbling about it or fighting it. But because they attacked Jacobson's cake, which is such a, huge part of this city, the family is beloved by everybody around them. It makes it a cause that people are going to band together. If they had just picked off some random person, probably business as usual. But because they targeted Jacobson's and Yold, I think that is what is going to strike the tinderbox, if that makes sense,
It makes me sad pop culture reference. It makes me think of like John Wick when it's the guy that got him back into it. His like uncle or whoever's in charge is like so mad and just like smacking him around. But at the same time, well, now we're committed. We gotta go after this guy who's going to kill us all. But not happy about
killed
it.
our dog.
Yeah, I think you never you never want to be like, well, I don't want to say you never. I think it would be a lot harder to be the first one to start a revolution. But when there's a group that's already standing up, it's a lot easier to stand with the group. And then when you're defending somebody that you care about deeply, it makes it a stronger cause. So I do feel like there's going to be a shift in the neighborhood, in society. It might be a slow snowball roll, or it might be quick. I don't know.
I think this might be a case where we're looking at two sides of a coin. Vigilantism on one side and martyrdom on the other. Jacobson's Cakes, it was a pillar of the community. It's now a symbol for potential revolution here in town.
One thing that I am interested in too is so like the way the Marvel universe did with the movies and the Avenger movies, and they're the heroes and all of that. But then in the TV series, they looked at the other side of that and the resentment that the city had with, you came in here and you destroyed half a city block, and now who's going to pay for that, kind of thing. So you think of yourself as the hero, but is the town going to be like, these troublemakers came in, we had a system going, now there's trouble, now the axes are going to be gunning for all of us.
Yeah, that's a great point.
The Batman quote from Sherman Harder about live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I'm sure that they will villainize us. They were okay to burn down the Jacobsons, say, this is what happens if you don't follow the rules. Say, this is what happened.
Yeah, I mean, people who are invested in the status quo are going to be like, well, yeah, it sucks that they burned the bakery down, but, Jacobson could have paid them. They had the money. They decided to take a stand. And now, look, there's definitely a huge segment of society that just wants the status quo and they want things to stay the way they are.
And we do know through the prism of at least one of our characters that, the axes are a part of the community, right? That some of you have relationships with the axes. I know Bo Pancho, right, knew Utia, the head of the collectors, outside of the protection racket. She would come by and would know him enough by first name and ask him to, to make recommendations for wine. And of course, there's golden-haired Liam, right? The object of one of our characters' affections. So we know that in some ways, these people are also neighbors and friends and love interests of people as well. I'm curious.
Allegedly.
So, I'm curious to see what happens. I wonder, it's a big mystery to me.
Minus 20. Come for the combat, stay for the ethics.
Yeah.
I was going to say romance, but ethics works too.
That's good speculation. I'm actually, I'm taking this in. I'm like, ooh, this is a good point. I should bring that element into the story. So we'll see what happens. But let's move on and get into it where we can start, where you guys can maybe find out what people are actually thinking about this. So this is a good time to introduce an hopefully not too regular pre-game conversation topic where I talk about the mistakes I made in previous episodes and correct them. So I just wanted to bring up a couple of things that I heard during the editing process. I'm like, oh man, that was wrong. The first one was when Penn used her devise a stratagem ability, which we talked about during that episode. So I don't want to go too deeply into it. But in that case, Penn would use intelligence as a modifier instead of strength or dexterity. And what I did is when Diana rolled a d20, I just added her intelligence modifier to them. That, of course, all of my Pathfinder people out there are like, yes. That, of course, is not enough. If you are proficient in the weapon you're using, which Penn was, I believe using a short bow. You add your proficiency modifier and your level to that roll. As she's trained with simple weapons, you add another 2 and then add the level. It's a small mistake, but I wanted to bring that out in case people who aren't as familiar with Pathfinder would get to understand how come these 2 hit rolls and skill checks, get pretty big as we go along in the game. It's because we add level to that as well.
That's important, people.
It is super important. The second one is relating to a similar thing with skill checks. During episode 3, I flatly said with full confidence that you have to be trained in order to make a recall knowledge check. I think I said it multiple times. Oh yes, you must be trained. The actual fact is, no, you do not need to be trained to make a recall knowledge check. Anyone can make that check, even if you're not trained. Whether you want to or not, it's a whole different question, because akin to the to hit roll, a skill check also gains benefit from your proficiency and your level. So if you're trained in nature and you want to make a nature check, you add another 2 and then whatever your level is. So early on, it's not a big gap, but later, like 10th level, one person's rolling a 0 on their check, another person's rolling 17 or something. So it's may not be the best thing if you're not trained to roll that check, but you absolutely can. So I just want to get that out of the way. And one last thing, this is episode 5. Everyone's hero points reset. Going to reset those every 4 episodes. I'm also going to give out 1 hero point at the beginning of each session. And then, as maybe gameplay goes, I might give out more during the sessions. But the one I'd like to give out this session is to John.
Oh, hey.
For Marth, because Marth played an excellent punching bag during the last 2
Well done.
2 combats.
Give our healers something to do.
I thought we would reward John and Marth for their willingness to take a few hits.
Caster tank.
All right, let's pick up. We are in this lair in the sewers, which Yoal Jacobson brought you all. You had some brief conversation about what's going on, but you decided maybe it's time to turn and take a rest. And I suspect there is a lot of open questions here that you guys would like to talk about. So let's just talk about, we've got the map up. You can see there are some couches and chairs and sofas. There's pull-out beds. There are rugs. And of course, again, this entire room is bedecked with Yoal Jacobson's trophies from his days as a pit fighter in Tillerton. Capes, costumes, animal heads on the wall. The Jacobsons are huddled over by the little stove on the north side of this room, talking amongst themselves quietly. So what do you guys do? Where do you go? What do you talk about?
Well, I think Serafina would right away go over to Marth and start treating his wounds because he's looks pretty bad. And while she's doing that, she's going to ask him a little bit about, hey, first of all, what was that? Well, I want to know about the phantom that was with you, but I saw you casting magic. Do you know magic? Or
Yeah, it's, we try real hard as fetchlings to kind of be like, hey, just like everybody else, but we do kind of come from the Shadowfell and touch.
Well, I don't cast magic, but for some
Sure you do. I just saw you cast it.
Well, that's my question. What happened to me?
Okay. All right. So we can get more into it later, but it's, there's different meridians, there's energy that you can channel through and you can do stuff. You cast some spells. A lot of it comes from emotion, but you can learn how to kind of control it and do exactly what you want to do. And we can talk about, you did this thing, we call it void warp, like as a technical term, but that was when you did like dark energy coming out. So it's got, lots of practice. People kind of have described it. I can tell you anything you want to know about it. But look at you. You're a caster and you didn't even know it.
I mean, it's never happened before. Nothing like this has happened to me before.
That's a good thing, right? And I would like you to not have a life full of buildings burning down and fighting gangsters. But emotions run high. You do what you have to do. You've discovered some new stuff about yourself. That's exciting.
It's just I've been having these really bad dreams lately, and I don't know if it's related to that. I've just been having these nightmares, and there's always this woman in them, and she's got this like really weird gray skin and white eyes, and I don't know. She's always talking to me, but I can never remember what she's saying when I wake up in the morning. And do you think it might have something to do with that?
It might. I mean, we live in a weird world, Serafina. Sometimes it can be, a god reaching out to you. Sometimes it can just be your brain processing what happened earlier that day. But I will say, emotions running high and mana running through your body a little more strongly than maybe in the past certainly amplifies stuff. Maybe next time you sleep, we'll see an even bigger difference. Because if there was ever something that we needed to process, tonight might be it.
Yeah, I feel like we're all going to be doing a lot of processing tonight. But thanks. If I have any questions, I'll talk to you. Okay, is that all right? If I do that,
Absolutely, anytime. By the way, thanks for stopping the bleeding. It makes it a lot easier to talk when I'm not going to pass out. You're the best.
well, that I know how to do. Magic, I'm not so sure.
That's fine. We can talk magic. Definitely keep up with the not letting me die part though.
Okay, I can do that.
Shepard would walk over to the Jacobsons and see if any of them need medical attention.
Probably you all could use a little hit of something for sure. So yeah, you kneel and start tending to his wounds. Oh, thanks, Shep. Appreciate it.
Likewise for all that you and your family have done just tonight, but forever, as long as I've been here. It would be sad to see you all go.
Oh, enough with that stuff. I can't take it in. No more thanking me. Just I may have left you in a stitch. So let's not talk about that anymore. Let's just get these wounds up, and I'm gonna get some rest. We're gonna leave in the morning before dawn. Appreciate it.
The least that I can do. Shepard would just tend to their wounds and that everyone's okay before.
Yeah, you can see Esmeralda and Yald, tuck their children in, maybe talk, in a low whisper next to the stove. There's like a little coal stove right there.
Kira is kind of searching through the chest that had the masks, and each one she's kind of picking up and making a disgusted face and throwing it down, and then digging through and finding another one and kind of holding it up. She's kind of getting inspiration from them, but she's not seeing one that catches her eye. And while she's doing this, her eyes keep darting up to Serafina, and she's really picking up what she's talking about, or trying to pick up what she's talking about with Marth, and making some mental notes for her job.
As she's doing that, Pan? Is it Pan?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I think I owe you an apology is all.
Why do you owe me an apology?
Well, I was scared at first, you were the only one in the group I didn't know, and we all just kind of, I'm just a little still amped up from what we had to do and all there. But I think you had the right idea of keeping identity secret and all that. So I'm sorry if I pressured you in any way that made you feel uncomfortable or.
No, listen. It's part of my job to be secretive. I understand that you're worried that you don't know who I am, and I wish I could tell you more, but that would jeopardize my career and the work that I do. But I hope you can believe me when I say I am committed to keeping this secret. I'm invested the same as you, and you will be able to find me when you need me. There's a younger girl in town. Her name's Kira. Do you know her? Her mom worked at Jacobson's Cake.
No, we never passed glances or anything like that. I generally work in wine, so kids aren't exactly someone I'm doing a lot of talking to,
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. She's not a kid, for the record. But her parents are Quinn and Blair. Maybe you know them?
Oh, they've come through the store a couple of times.
Wonderful. So Kira is their daughter. If you ever need to get a hold of me, she's how you can find me. Just, wanted to let you know.
Oh, that's mighty reassuring. Yeah, I think biggest thing is we all got people in our lives that had nothing to do with what just happened. And for me, if I lost this vessel, yeah, I'd be sure sad about it. I've been in many years, but I just don't want to see anybody else that, could get hurt by our transgressions and all. And the fact that you're willing to offer that speaks volumes.
I will say I am a member of the community, and I am invested in what happened last night, or I guess tonight. It feels like it was so long ago. I will not stop defending those who need to be defended. So you can count on me whenever you need something. I just can't be more open at this time about who I am, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. And I think you're right. And then he kind of looks down at the mask, like, are any of those going to fit your Is it a snoot? Is it a snout? Is it your nose area? I'm sorry, I don't know. I've never dealt with your kind before.
It's just a nose, but I like snoot. I think I'm gonna make one.
Gotta write that in my notes. Like snoot.
Her snoot's running.
Yeah.
Can we boop it, though, is the question.
How boopable
Please
is
don't
the
boop
snoot?
it.
I need to know.
I have some skill with craftsmanship. I think I'm gonna make my own. I just was kind of looking at these for inspiration. They're a little too gaudy for my taste, though.
Yeah, they're definitely more made for kind of a show, it looks like, and he's kind of just picking up all the different luchador masks. Like, I imagine like a couple like, oh, that's got lightning bolts on it. I don't know if that's really in line with being secret.
Well, if we ever get into professional wrestling, we know where to come.
So you're saying you haven't done professional wrestling? Sorry, just trying to sass you out a little bit here, but
I see what you're doing. We'll leave
my
it
apologies.
at that. Thank you, though. And Kira excuses herself to kind of start making a bed over in the corner.
Pepper would make his way over to the door and find a bench to sit on and slowly take his armor off and try to make himself as comfortable as possible on a bench, better than a stone floor, and try to start dozing off.
I would like to leave early in the morning. When is everybody else planning to leave?
Well, I should get home early, too. It's not that unusual for me to be out at night, but I don't want my family to worry.
I was planning on leaving at first dawn just to get my way outside the walls, just so plausible deniability when we come back in that I'm just trying to make myself part of the people that ran away, you know?
Yeah, maybe just sleep for a couple hours.
Well, I don't really sleep per se, but yeah, sure. I'll stay still.
If you guys want to talk at all in the morning, I could stay for a little bit, but I do have to go.
I have a lot of questions, actually, about things I saw tonight, but we can talk about those in the morning. Mr. Poncho?
Oh, hey!
Particularly would like to... What was happening with you, I guess? I was very surprised when you transformed back into the form that I know.
Oh, yeah. It's a scary form, isn't it? Like, it's got the teeth and the eyes and it's all big. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Like, it's something I've always just had, but it never had to really use all that often, you know? My creator, Tianda, she gave all us slashies when she made us some kind of special abilities. So, like, my brother Doof, he could have, like, a little bit of, like, flying abilities, and I have what's called a vine growth, and it just allows my vines to get bigger in a rapid succession. And when it does, yeah, it's more humanoid. It looks a little bit more scary. She made it so if anyone were attacking our grove, that I could be big and scary and scare them away and not have to fight, you know?
So most people don't know you can do that?
Oh, I haven't done it in a dog's age, so I haven't really had to. So no, I'm sorry if I'm sorry, Mr. Shepard. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to alarm anyone.
Well, perhaps people didn't notice us as much as we think they did. I mean, I'm me, but if people aren't used to seeing you in that form, then that wouldn't have stood out. And it was kind of dark, so perhaps nobody has any idea who defended Jacobson's case.
Well, we can only hope.
Well, I think we can do more than hope. We need to make sure that people don't think it's us. Like, we talk about leaving early, and that's fine. We should get home, but I think everybody here needs to think about how are you going to establish where you were the night before. Like, this is kind of important, guys. Like, those axes are not going to be subtle about their response to this. And if there was a plant guy, even if it doesn't look anything like Bo, they're going to come and talk to Bo for sure. And if he answers with a, no offense, Bo, I think you're great. You're amazing. But that's going to be a tip-off. If, somebody mentions a kind of fox-like person and they go digging around and find out that there's a teenage girl that might know about her, that teenage girl is going to get a lot of pressure. That's not going to go great. We need to figure out some kind of, alibis. Not something that I'm used to doing, but sure, yeah, alibis. Woo! Criminal. Great. Awesome.
Can I ask, maybe this is a personal question, but has anybody here killed anybody before? Because we killed a bunch of people.
Shepard just raises his bastard sword and puts it back on his chest. And I'm not proud of it. Life, long time ago.
Bo would also kind of throw a little vine up.
For the record, I don't think I killed anybody tonight either. I was just assisting, defending, but I didn't kill anybody.
Man, you had that crit shot on that dude.
A little PTSD denial happening right now.
That was the shot of the combat, I think. Man.
I didn't see what happened once I left my short bow.
I mean, I guess, how do you deal with it?
I like to think that there's defense to yourself and there's defense to a situation. Like, I know when, not this time, but my last time when they attacked our grove, I was defending the grove, not just myself. And you have to understand you're bigger than just yourself. And this time
Wait, what the example?
You definitely are.
oh, thank you. I try my best. But no, I think in this last time, the Axis really, like, yeah, they weren't attacking us directly, but I couldn't stand idly by while that was happening, while the flames were roaring over what? Like, I wasn't there with, did you mess with them in some way? I know they came by my shop and said, hey, we need an extra gold from y'all. And the next thing I know, your shop's on fire. Like, I can't imagine they just willy-nilly burned your shop down for a gold. That don't make no sense.
Oh, you're talking to Yald?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm
kind of
sorry.
like yelling a little bit.
Because he's off to the side. He's
Yeah.
out of the conversation.
Sorry, y'all, did
What?
you
I'm sorry.
anger them in some way that, like, it seems crazy, just one gold and they burned down your whole place like that?
Well,
Long term, that doesn't make sense financially.
I'm not an axe. I don't know how they work, but I did say I was not paying ever again, and humiliated one of their kind in front of a crowd, and declared that pretty loudly. So I imagine maybe, I don't know, they had to make an example of me.
That still seems like extreme measures to. I couldn't idly stand by that kind of thing. Well, it looks like none of you could have stood by for that.
No, absolutely not.
So I have a question for the GM.
Yeah.
So this protection racket that the Axis have running, has anyone ever stood up to them before, or is Jacobson basically the first?
Well, that's an excellent question. I hadn't thought about that, but I would assume someone probably had and had been similarly taken care of in the past. Maybe not as ruthlessly, but
People randomly go missing in town. Nobody knows why.
sure.
now
It's okay. We can do an aside about the 7th Ward, right? It's a pretty large and populous neighborhood. And this is something that really hasn't come up in game yet, so that's an excellent question. It is a neighborhood built around industry right on the river. I hinted at that. There's the ironworks and the forges. So it's a pretty large, compact population in a small area. There's also, the city is built on mining. We haven't talked about that at all. But a lot of people go upriver to the mines, and some of them never come back, right? It's a dangerous job. People die in accidents at the factories. We already established, for example, Biney, a number of other people hurt themselves in industrial accidents. So, yeah, people disappear a lot. Not so much through crime or murder, but yeah, it's a kind of a large, tumultuous collective of people where, people change in and out of apartments quite a bit. Now, the real sort of dangerous area is on the south bank of the river on the docks with the gambling dens and the sort of seedy taverns there. That's where I think we established the goon, right? That was in Marth's office. They called him a 6th Ward man. That's what they mean by that. Is one of the, maybe a gambling enforcer by night and a longshoreman by day. So these big, rough, violent men and women come from, taught their trade docks.
We've seen the Axes go to businesses demanding this payment. Do they go to families and households? Do they go to independent, workers that maybe don't have a business building? Who do they target to pay?
Yeah, and it would be the businesses and such, the people who could pay. And I should say, maybe as an aside, right, we did mention a couple of times that the neighborhood is safe. So the Axes are actually providing protection, right? And while we haven't said it directly also, but the town guardsmen are kind of just there. We saw a couple hanging out at Jacobson's Cakes, just eating donuts, I think I said, right? Yeah, so, the axes are the show.
I just wanted to know if Penn could be expecting a letter with back owed
Yeah,
taxes.
yeah.
Because I
No.
don't think she's been paying from her independent work.
Now, her father, who works in a shop, the shop owner would have to pay,
Sure. Okay.
but not her family directly. I'll do some more lore dump in the hot dish, but this stuff should come up hopefully in scene and you guys will encounter it. But those are good questions. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Miss Serafina?
Well, I mean, I don't know, like some of these axes, I know them. I mean, I don't love it that they come to the shop, that they take money, because it just means that I have less that I can use to help other people. We can't go and buy the supplies we need to create the remedies and things that's our trade. And I don't love that. But I also know, like, their families, some of them, some of the young people they have working for them. I just don't, are they all bad? Is it just bosses? I don't really know.
I would argue, I'm not sympathizing with the axes by any means, but were it not for their protection, you might have more break-ins or bandits. And so you might not be better off financially without the axes. They do require payment, but at least it's consistent and dependable. And then you know that you're not going to encounter anything else that you might lose money to. So I just wanted to defend the services that they provide a little bit.
I get that, but burning someone's business down seems really drastic to me.
Yeah, you seem a little sympathetic to our arsonists
I
here.
know, no, I'm really not sympathizing. I'm sorry. That was probably it was in bad taste of me to mention that. Well, I'm sorry.
Guys, you're all taking on more than any of us are meant to deal with. Same thing. I mean, yeah, individual axes, they're individual people, and they have their flaws. We can think about that, but that's not what the moment was. In a moment, we had to make an impossible decision for an impossible situation. You can't put all that on you. We did what we had to do for that moment. Ramifications are going to happen, and we'll deal with them as they come. But, you talk about how do you live with the killing somebody. You just don't put more onto it than what it actually was. Guys, we did what we had to. Is it going to make it easy to deal with that kind of trauma? No. We're going to probably all have nightmares about it. Forever, I'm guessing.
And those were bad axes, but I'm sure there are good axes that would never do something like that, even if they were put in that position.
Yeah, but throughout history, there's a whole lot of best intentions, and you're one of the good ones, and that kind of thing. So, we're punching above our pay weight here, guys. You did good. Like, get some sleep. Try not to dwell on that too much. Take this one step at a time, all right?
I have to admit, it did feel kind of good to do something to protect people, to kind of fight back, I guess.
You did the right thing. For now and tonight, that's all you really need to worry about. Deal with it tomorrow.
Yes, our conscience decided for us. We saw something happening that was wrong and we just acted. It wasn't that we decided for this all to happen. We just responded because of somebody else's choice.
Well, and I think Mark's got a point. If you're worried about, we're not going to go and hunt these people down. We acted in the moment of the situation. It was us or them. If we continue to act in us and them situations, well, then it is just that. We're fighting for our lives.
So we're not going to hunt them down?
Tomorrow, we got decisions to make. Sure. Like, we started something, or you can say the Axis started it, or we could say Yoald started it. But it's not going to go away. We're going to have to deal with that, and we need to make decisions that are thought out. We won't do ourselves any good second guessing what has happened.
Speak from experience. You'll spend a lifetime doing that. You need to learn to let it go. Good night rest. Your world of wonders.
Hopefully tomorrow we can go back to our lives and nobody knows any better. And we can decide what we want to do. There may be a chance that nobody has any idea we were involved, just that people were involved. So we may not need any action at all after this. You can tell Kira's a little insecure about, she's trying to speak with conviction, but she's insecure about her experience. And she clearly is a little inexperienced.
All right. I think all of our brains are starting to eat themselves here, guys. Like, I'm very familiar with how that cycle goes. It's not going to go great. Try and get some rest. Try thinking about something else. I know it's real hard, but we got other things in our life. Think about those. Don't dwell on this. We'll talk about this when we have to, right?
That's a good idea.
Curious, though, is this spirit of Mars still hovering in the corner?
See?
Talk about the ghost in the
know.
corner of the
I
room.
mean, has nobody thought to wonder what this apparition is that appeared by Mars' side?
I don't think Kira thinks, Kira doesn't know these people. So whatever she saw, she assumes
Right.
it's common knowledge. So she's not second guessing any of it right now.
I think of it like, for another old pop culture reference, I'm thinking of the Austin Powers movie where the guy has the giant mole and nobody mentions or says anything.
Mole.
They're all staring at it, but
Yeah.
nobody mentions it.
You summoned your mole.
They're just like, yeah, we're talking normal therapy sessions, and there's a angry looking ghost hanging out. And you just go, no one mentions that.
Seraphina mentioned it, but she didn't want to be too. She was, first of all, more concerned about the fact that magic was shooting out of her hands, but also like, well, I want to give him an opening if he wants to talk about it, but I'm not going to push. And he clearly didn't talk about it. Her anyway.
I'm glad somebody in the party has respectful boundaries when they're getting a hint.
All right, so you guys would settle down, and over in the corner by the Jacobsons, you can see a glow from the little stove he's got set up there. And one by one, you'd fall to sleep. Perhaps a couple of you just staring up at the ceiling, the flickering light, the stone ceiling.
Before Marth fell asleep, he would casually make his way over by Kira for, a little bit quieter talk with you. Or, and I don't know, Kira, who's that? Hey, Ben, how you doing?
Fine. How are you doing?
Oh, I mean, all right, I guess. Hey, I just wanted to have a quick little talk. I respect all of your privacy, and I respect, you've got your own life going on and thing. I just want you to appreciate, you're the only one here who gets to have the choice for keeping their identity and protecting their profession. Every one of these people here, they're really vulnerable right now. So we're putting a lot of trust in you. I hope that you know that requires trust back, right?
Absolutely. And I hope you can appreciate that discretion is part of my job. So if you're ever looking for somebody that can use discretion, you know who to call.
Sure. Yeah. Ghostbusters, right?
Of course. Speaking of ghosts, it looks like we each have things that might be personal and private. And I hope you can respect that I'm not digging into your business. We are fused in this very intimate way because of what happened tonight, but that doesn't mean we're entitled to every secret and detail about each other.
No, definitely didn't say that. You have your business. You do what you got to do. I just want you to, make sure you're looking outside of yourself. For some of these people, they got a lot of things that they are protecting, and now they don't have a safety net behind it. So I'm not trying to be accusatory. I think you're doing a great job. I just want you to know, hey, tread lightly. Some of these people are probably in a really awkward position, right?
Kira's kind of gnawing on her bottom lip, and you can see her eyes are darting to each of the people that she fought with tonight. And you can sense that there's a little bit of guilt, but it's still covered by this ego. Her forefront is her ego, and you can't tell if it's an ego backed by confidence or not. But she just kind of looks back at you and nods, doesn't say anything, still gnawing on her bottom lip.
All right. So you have a great night. Or, well, have a night. Or a morning. I don't know where we are, right? Sleep well. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Marth.
Are there any other hushed conversations as Jacobson snoring begins to fill the room?
Seeing Shepard kind of set up next to the door, Bo will kind of walk over to the opposite side of the door, and he starts kind of pulling up some of the stonework to kind of get into the dirt of it kind of deal. And he pulls out his glass and just kind of puts some water in the ground just to kind of absorb the nutrients kind of deal, being in a dark area kind of deal. So as he kind of gets settled in, kind of like a dog does the circle thing, settle down,
Yeah.
works and paws at the ground with his roots.
Through a cracked eyelid, Shepard slowly unfurls his frowned brow after this Axis conversation. Sight of Bo digging in proverbially as Aleshi tucking himself in at night, cracks a small smile and falls asleep.
Mr. Shepard,
Yes.
hey,
Yes, Bo.
you okay?
Yes. All right.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all damaged goods at this point, but comes with the territory of having to kill another man.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Oh, and also that vine growth, man. It there's like so much adrenaline with it that it just, I'm still coming down, you know?
I'm glad you came down at all. You were swinging across the ceiling there for a while.
Oh yeah, it's really easy actually with the vines. I couldn't believe how great that was. Like I've tried climbing before, but man, that made life easier. And this is like the first time he's actually laughed.
Quite the sight, I'm not going to lie. All the things I thought I would see today was far from being on that list.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting character.
Well, that's nice to say. I don't really need to sleep per se, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on everything. Is there anyone I should keep an eye on more than others, or?
I think at this point, just the door.
All right, yeah, I can do that. I'll watch over you two as well, okay, Mr. Shepard?
Quite kind of you. Appreciate the generosity.
He tips his hat a little bit, kind of gets into a relaxing spot where it's kind of like he can see just outside the under the brim, the old straw hat.
So Bo's the only one that's awake the entire time.
Yeah.
We're gonna guess that there are some very awkward, long staring sessions between Bo and Arya.
All right, so typically I'd probably say you would get a full night's sleep. Let's hand wave that. Give yourselves a long rest for you spellcasters. Bring yourself up to full hit points, as I am assuming and will assume from now on that if you're taking a long rest in a safe environment, that you'll have time to tend to your wounds before you go to bed. So we're not going to have just the simple, the Pathfinder rules for hit points regaining during a long rest. So in the morning, you guys are one by one shaken awake by Yoel Jacobson. And as you wake up, rub your eyes, maybe some of you forgetting where you are for a moment, panicking, how dark it is and uncomfortable or unusual. You see over by the stove that the Jacobsons have transformed. Esmeralda got up a little early and has a disguise kit and has essentially disguised her and her children. So little Rick looks like a little halfling man now, right? And her daughter has like a cloak over her, and Esmeralda herself has like dyed her hair gray, so she looks like an old woman. And then Yoel will wink at you and put on a hat of disguise, and he sort of transforms. He still looks like a half orc, but transform. His nose elongates. He has a beard suddenly. His teeth are different. He just looks like a different guy. Well, we're about ready to shove off. We're going to catch a river barge upriver. I just wanted to have a few final parting words to all of you before we left. First, again, thank you for what you did. You saved me and the family, and you also saved the strongbox, which ensures that we can have a future. Secondly, I think the 7th Ward is about to find out how vicious the Axis truly are. They're going to need someone to look out for them. I hope that it's you all. You showed remarkable bravery and initiative, but this neighborhood is going to need you more. One final gift. And as you see Esmeralda nod, and she nudges her kids, and they each take some kind of necklace, like leather thongs around their necks. And you see on each one, there's like a little stone. These are kind of magic stones. For each person wearing them, you can rub the stone, say 3 times, I need you, I need you, I need you. And all the other stones will light up. And then little Rick will say, but Dad, there's only 4 of these and there are 5 of them. And Esmeralda pulls a 5th one out. Well, we've been meaning to tell you, children, but you're going to have another little brother or sister. And little Rick is like, what? the daughter Laura says, oh my God, I can't believe this is how you tell us. Oh my, sucks. Oh.
Yeah.
Your sympathizes with that.
Shepard's excitement turns immediately into curiosity at what Seraphina's reaction is.
And they hand all 5 of these necklaces over to you. So, if you ever need each other, just simply do what I told you, and it'll signal to the other stones that you need help or you need someone to be there. Usually I just use it to call the children to dinner.
Is there a distance restriction?
There is not. As long as you're on this plane of existence. If you're in the hells, there's no hope for you.
Like in Zelda when you whistle for your horse and you have to wait for 2 minutes for it to get there.
Generosity continues yet again.
I figure you'll need this more than we do. Be together. And if you're ever up Fallen Timber's way, look me up. I'll set you up. At least a free breakfast.
I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Jacobson, and all of you on your new life.
We will come looking for you. I mean, we're going to be missing your cakes.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll call it something new. Up in Fallen Timber. We'll see. All right. Children, you ready? They throw their bags onto their backs, and the four of them, look at you, silently nod, and then leave this lair. And the door closes behind them. 5 of you are left together.
Well, I guess that signals our time, right?
Serafina is going to go over and look at some of the masks and take one, probably.
Which one do you know which one you want to take? Have you gotten an idea of? You don't have to answer now. We can.
Yeah, I have an idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big reveal, but her calling is life, and the flip side of life, of course, is death. And so she is going to find a mask that has sort of a skull.
Yes.
What?
I'm so excited about that. Yes.
And she may or may not decorate that herself later.
That's awesome.
It's what she does in her spare time. Needlework.
The yin yang of her day, midwifery, and then, the skull.
Marth and Arya kind of go into a corner, and anyone that's watching them just lock eyes and stare at each other for, good 30 seconds, minute, nothing really being said. And then they touch foreheads together, close their eyes, and Arya slowly fades. Then Marth comes back over. All right, friends, I think it's time for us to go about our lives. Do we meet here again tomorrow? Or today, I guess? Talk about the different repercussions that we've seen? Or do you want to wait
I think it
longer?
would be worthwhile to at least get up topside what's actually happening in town.
Oh, absolutely. We have things to do. I mean, just because Jacobson's is gone doesn't mean that all those people counting on the soup kitchen are just going to suddenly find a Denny's to go. Denny's is a local gentleman who also owns a tavern, specializes in cheap egg.
They might go to the House of Waffle. So
Ye old.
The old House of Waffle.
I got work to do up there. But I really think it's important that, we need to talk again, see what's going on with everybody else, particularly if there's any suspicions or if there's any, anger from different divisions. So, what do you say? We all here again? I don't know, 10?
We'll say that having a warm hearth, beds or benches or rugs to sleep on is awfully nice compared to usual accommodations. I think I might find myself back here, assuming there's no aberrations in the sewer to try to kill us again.
Shepard, if you wouldn't mind talking to, some of your local cohorts. I'm guessing they got some good eyes and ears. What's going on the street? Maybe, Bo, Serafina, some of the other local businesses in a feel. I don't know what you do with your days, Pen, but seems like you're pretty good at gathering information. And, I'll see what I can dig up. I have some people that I talk to pretty regularly.
If I may, Serafina had offered me a minor healing potion. As always, the Lex family has been quite generous to everything that we have done. We happen to have a few more now that the Jacobsons have shared, amongst some other things. We have a ring and Yoald's cape. This tiny little jade cat. Not sure what it all entirely does, but potions would be better off in your hands, I think, at least to return the favor. And all this trophy that we found as well, I don't think I would have much use of it. Many people would likely think I nicked it somewhere if I tried to sell it. Any of you more welcome in other people's shops able to sell this? Perhaps a few more coin in our pockets?
Well, I will definitely take the healing potions, but if you don't think that maybe we should distribute them in case I'm not there to heal them, or if you're not there.
Would be a good idea. Don't know how much pressure you've been getting on the home front to collect on all those medical supplies that you've so generously donated.
Well, I think if I came home with more healing potions than I left with, it might raise more questions. I have one for myself, so we have 2. Whoever feels the need, I think, should take them.
I think hold on to all of this stuff. We need to just kind of sit on for a bit. There's no faster way for people to hunt down perpetrators than to follow the items that have suddenly shown up in the shop.
Indeed. Would one of you be able to sell this trophy? Hold on to it for now.
And is any of us, after just paying the axes, I guess, is anybody really hurting for cash at the moment? Do we need that? Or can we just kind of sit on it? If everything...
We could leave it here.
My guess is, though, the Axes are going to ask for more money today after the cost they took last night. So, yeah, we can keep it here for now, but I'm guessing they're going to be coming in full force today.
Oh, yeah.
We do have this armor, too, but is it recognizable, do you think? If where did we get was the armor from the axes, or was that from Jacobson?
Jacobson had some armor that you could use. So this is the armor that
Okay.
it could be costume armor. It could be, you could find a death, like with skeletal, like a skeletal leather armor. So you could go full skeleton costume.
Well, I think Seraphina's going to use her father's armor, but if nobody else does, maybe we could sell that too for some.
Just as a reminder, you also found a ring of discretion, which disguises your armor. So if one of you, say, wanted to take the armor and wanted to walk around with it during the day, you could.
Yeah, Shepard's thinking
You
about
could
what
just
he's gonna do
wear
with
this
his armor and sword that he'd previously just stored under some flagstones in town. He would have to leave them here if he was to venture out otherwise.
Well, not if he wears the ring of discretion.
That is all agreeable to you.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Awfully guilty for taking anything. What we've been through last. Promise it'll be put to good use.
I think we want to avoid questions as much as we can, and I think, Shepard, people know you, and if suddenly you're walking around with armor, that might raise some questions.
Indeed. We'll take it then. Once again, thank you.
So what's the plan? You guys are going to meet up again later that same day? You said 10 a.m.?
Well, I was assuming 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Okay. I'm just thinking, I'm like, how much time do I have to work with that?
Yeah.
10 p.m. That's cool. Okay.
That might be a little suspicious if we come out, talk to people, then all of us at 10 a.m. are
yeah,
back
yeah.
in the
All
like,
of
out
us
of the
leave
mole
from
hole.
like a sewer grate, like Ninja Turtle style.
Yeah, that's right. Well, unless there's any more to discuss, I think we'll fade out.